It's May 26th, 2020, and my wife and I have decided to come up to the Eastern Sierra to get a break. We've been under a stay-at-home order for 2 months, and different parts of the state are following different regulations. So, we decided to come up to the Eastern Sierra, check into a hotel. We checked into a hotel in Carson City, which is about 45 minutes outside of Markleeville. And so I decided to, take a couple days off of work, do some fishing. We'll spend a couple days working in the hotel, and then we'll go home. It's interesting because, like I said, different parts of the state are under different regulations. I went up to see my parents last night to help them with some computer work. And you walk around their town, and maybe only 10% of the people are wearing masks. Where I'm from, it's 100% of the people, and the same in Carson City. So if you're working in a store or something that's open, then you're wearing a mask. Otherwise, you're not. So anyway, my plan today was to come up and fish Raymond Lake. Unfortunately, I've been met with that closed gate to the road that I need to be on. So now I've got to try to find another place to fish, and I didn't spend any time yesterday looking at an option to. Fortunately, I brought with me this book right here, Fly Fishing the Tahoe Region. It was put out, over 20 years ago by Stephen Ryder Haggard. It's a great book. It is probably the best guidebook that I've ever read in terms of the layout, the content, and all that sort of stuff. So I don't know if it's still available, but should you happen to find a copy and you like fishing in and around Lake Tahoe, you definitely need to get one. So I'm here at the trailhead, and as I said before, it's really late. It's about 11 o'clock, and it's looking like I'm gonna have a 7 or 8 mile hike. So I've lightened my pack a little bit, not taking as much of the cold weather gear that I brought. I'm definitely overdressed, so I'm gonna have to watch my water intake, make sure I don't overheat. I mean, I've got this medium weight wool shirt on, and it's like 76 degrees. So, and I've got a wool buff. So at 76 degrees, and I'm not even exercising, I can feel the heat now, so I need to be careful of that. So the trail that I'm on is going to parallel Wolf Creek for about four and a half miles, and then it's going to kick off to the right into a place that I think is called Bull Canyon, and then it steeply pitches up, and the lake is somewhere in there. I'm starting at about 6,400 feet, so not so bad for an early season trip. I definitely, dressed too warmly. I did look at the weather before I came, but I anticipated going up to Raymond Lake, which is at 10,000 feet, and so I thought it would be, a bit cooler than it actually is. So I'm 10 minutes into this hike, and I've already stopped at the creek, dunked my buff in water, dunked my hat in water. So I'm about an hour in. I'm guessing I'm probably 2.5 miles. It's been mostly rolling. I did kick up a bit about 10 minutes ago. but it's flattened out. I'm sweating up a storm, but I'm staying cool. It's mostly wooded here. The trail has moved away from the creek and into this pine forest. I've come to the intersection of the Wolf Creek and Bull Canyon trails. It's taken me just over 2 hours. According to the guidebook, it's a steep 1.5 miles from here to the lake, which probably means I'm gonna guess 45 minutes to an hour. Still making my way up to the lake. I can see it drops off here, and that must be Bull Canyon. I'm gonna look for where it starts to flatten out, and that should give me a pretty good indication of where the lake is. The lake is it's about a 1/2 mile off the trail, so I figure what I'll do is I'll hike up for about 45 minutes, and then I'll cut to my left, and that should put me over by the lake. It looks like I can approach from down trail, and it'll be relatively flat, whereas if I keep going and I approach from directly parallel to the lake, it's going to be steeper. So I'm almost 3 hours in. I kind of feel like I've overshot, but the map shows a major stream crossing, which I haven't come to. I can hear the stream over there, so I imagine the trail must kick up and then back over, but my gut is telling me to bushwhack from here. I don't know, should I follow my gut or follow the map? Probably be better to follow the map and the trail. So decided to follow the trail. The trail looks like it should kick back to the left. According to the map, the trail brings me within a 1/2 mile of the lake, so that's a 10 or 15 minute walk. I figure right now I'm about 1 mile away. If I start bushwhacking from here, you know, that mile, that could take me 40 minutes. So stay on the trail, trust the trail, hope I can see the lake from the trail, and then head down from there. Okay, here's the creek crossing. I guess I'm almost 3 hours in, and so I think it's time for some bushwhacking. Let's hope I choose the path of least resistance. Now, according to the map, it's supposed to be a gradual ascent going this way, and then a slight descent. And all I'm seeing is this big wall of trees and that really steep slope. So I'm going to keep pushing this way. Well, I think I've overshot the lake. I think I'm going into the canyon, and that's not where I want to be. So what I think I'm going to do, it's really steep here. It seems to level out right up there. I'm going to head there. hope I can make it over this bluff and hope I can see the lake from there. I definitely overshot the lake. But on the good side, it's just over this bluff. So at this point, I'm like, okay, well, I could go down and try to skirt around, or I could just go up and over the bluff. And I'm like a quarter mile away. So I'm just going to go up and over the bluff. Hope it's not too sketchy on the way down, and take things from there. Okay, so it's finally starting to level out. If my guesstimate is correct, the lake is kind of over to the left. But looking at the terrain, but I want to make sure it's not happening. I want to make sure that the canyon is not bearing to the left and I'm starting to skirt the ridge. I think the lake is in that direction. I mean, that looks like it's opening up. Regardless, if it's the canyon coming around to the left or it's the lake, I should get some sort of view. And it's the lake. Hot diggity dog. Whew. Just where I thought it was. I didn't take the route that I had planned. And, yeah, that's not so bad getting down there. I had planned to come in from over there, skirt that peak there. But whatever, this works. Wasn't so bad. Snow was manageable. It's 3 o'clock, so I've been hiking now just under 4 hours, I think. My my watch died, so I don't rightly know. Pretty sure I left the car at about 11:20, 11:30. So, you know, typically this is the time that I would be leaving a lake. You can see clouds starting to move in. I don't think it's a concern. I don't think I'm going to have any thunderstorms today. But, you know, it's going to get dark. Around here, it'll probably get dark around 7-ish. And so, if I fish for a couple hours, if I get out of here by 5:30, you know, I'll probably have half the hike in the daylight, half the hike in the snow. But let's come down here. Let's come down and see what's happening on the lake. Now, I'm not going to have a chance or any time to do any real, you know, reconnoiter of the lake. Looks like there's a small inlet over here. So why don't I start over there by the small inlet? And hopefully, you know, hopefully we'll see some cruising fish. I don't know. I mean, there should be fish in here. I think I had mentioned that there's supposed to be Lahontan cutthroats. They being Fish and Game, had actually poisoned the lake to plant Paiute cutthroats in here, and then they came back and did a survey, and all they found were Lahontans. So they don't know what happened to the Paiutes, and it should have Lahontans. But again, you know, my information is probably 20 years old. You know, I guess I've done today, which, you know, I wouldn't really recommend most people do, right? Just going somewhere, you have nothing, no clue about, you know, you don't have ready-made maps. I mean, I've got maps on my phone, but I don't have any paper maps with me. The map on my phone works great as long as my phone's working. I didn't know anything about the hike other than what I read in the guidebook, so I didn't really have much to go on. You know, it doesn't make the best, it's not the best example, I would say, but I've been doing this a long time, and I'm fairly confident in my abilities. So yeah, and you know what? Maybe looking at the lake, I'm wondering if I might want to skirt around this way. I definitely don't want to get on those overhangs, but if there's an outlet over there, there may be some good fishing. So I've got some waders, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my waders on, and then I'm going to try to look for some fish. These are what I use for wading boots. Brand new pair of Sims ultralight backpacking waders, 20 years old. I bought 2 pair back when they discontinued them, and if I remember correctly, they weigh about a pound. And the first pair, I've just now put a hole in them. So break out the second pair. Got to fix the first pair, but until I do, this will work fine. Switch to my polarized sunglasses. If you're a fly fisherman, polarized sunglasses are the most important piece of equipment. So don't skimp on your polarized sunglasses. You can get a cheap rod. Anybody can cast a cheap rod, cheap line. Anybody can cast a cheap line. Cheap flies, you know. I mean, presentation is more important than pattern, but if you don't have a good pair of polarized lenses, then you know you're in an uphill battle the entire time. Let's go hunt some fish. So the water's actually a little murky. I'm just going to start off with some searching casts, you know, do a little prospecting. I know that there are, or at least there should be calabatus in these waters, so I'm going to fish Rickards, calabatus, nymph, as well as size 18 gold ribs, hare's ear. Both are pretty impressionistic. There's a little trickle of water coming in here, so you would think that there'd be fish down under here. I'm not spooking anything. I would have thought that I would have spooked something right here. So I'm just going to try some casts out there. Again, it's pretty murky and off color. Now these won't sink, but they also don't create a whole lot of, and I caught some grass. They also don't create a whole lot of disturbance on the water. Oh, that was probably a fish. Okay, a couple quick casts, and I'm gonna move on. I really want to sight fish, but sort of a no-brainer with this water coming in to just do, you know, a couple prospecting casts in there. Whoa. Stay out of the grass there, little guy. So I switched to a bead head, the bead head hairs here that I typically use, because I was getting into some deeper water. And it looks like it has paid off. Nice little hunting. I just missed probably a 12 or 13 inch fish right over here. I shouldn't say I missed it. I had him on, but he slipped the hook somehow. So this makes fish number 4, if I can get him in. Now this was pretty sweet. I saw him rise, and so I just threw it out and started retrieving. And then he came. Cool deal. That absolutely makes my day. So it looks like I found the honey hole with just to drop it in there and then start stripping. It's either bigger fish or it's foul hooked. Ah, he got off. Oh, there we go. Oh. Still have a fly. I lost my fly. That was a strong grab. Ah, jeez. That was immediate. I may not have flies left after that one. That was a pretty good grab. And I didn't see any splash when I did my recast, so maybe I lost my flies. I did. Wow, 2 fish. 2 fish strong enough to break off 5X on the grab. So it's 5 o'clock, or just about 5 o'clock, and I don't have enough time to put on 2 flies, so I'm gonna make a couple more casts with this one fly. It looks like, you know, they've been taking both flies fairly consistently. No fly has been winning out more than the other. Presuming the last 2 fish that broke me off are good fish. The first one took the size 18, and the last one took the size 12. So there we go. That's a good fish, or he's foul hooked. Nope, not as good as I thought. Well, that's okay though. A lot of head shaking, a lot of rolling going on. That is so cool. That is so cool. Like I said, there must be a weed bed there. Come on, little guy. This is the old. It's 5 o'clock. It's 4:59. So I should make this my last cast. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep fishing until I go 3 casts without a fish. Now I was stripping in, or I was doing a figure of 8 retrieve. Either one seemed to work. Okay, so maybe this is cast number 1. Cast number 1 with no fish. There we go. Oh, okay, that doesn't count. That doesn't count because I was feeling drag. So, and usually, that's not far enough out. Usually, drag means a fish. I'll just go with it. Oh. Oh. Okay, I can't get that one fish, but I guess I get this one. Just as I was trying to pick up and recast. So I think the battery on this is going to die as I'm doing all this. Maybe I should stop. Yeah, I guess I'll... This is a smaller fish anyway. I'll stop filming for a while. I'll do the 3 casts and then I'm done. That was cool. The wind finally came up, and the wind came up and I finally got to a point where I made 3 casts without catching a fish. But that was crazy. That last 30 minutes was crazy. It was a fish on almost every single take. And some of those takes were really strong. Strong enough to break me off. So the wind came up, and after the wind came up, I stopped catching fish. And I don't know if the wind was masking the plop of the fish going, the plop of the fly as it entered the water, and that was attracting them, or what. But yeah, that was fun. I'm really glad that this plan B worked out. I'm going to take the same route that I took in to get out. It should take me about 3.5 hours. If I'm lucky, I'll get back to the hotel by 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and thanks for coming along.